Let's start where Yardbirds' batteries needed recharging. When the team loses its backup catcher to a departure still unclear, too similar to abandonment to be declared retirement, frontline catcher Jake Marshall continues a tour of duty that includes catching every inning but one of every contest in the 6-game marathon set against Cal City. Jake Marshall, Sarge, by this sportscaster's reference, for reasons you shall learn in this report. Jake Marshall responds in manner far beyond the call of duty. Let's get right to that origin of the Sarge nickname.
When I got to junior college, my entire team knew that I wanted to go in the military after baseball, and I would wear combat boots and a special forces pullover all over campus, and I had a combat backpack with patches on it and stuff, and everybody knew that I wanted to go to the military, so they called me Sarge. And that nickname stuck real fast. I think my sophomore year, yeah, they called me that here and there, and then junior year, I don't think people actually knew my real name, especially the young guys. They'd only refer to me as Sarge. And to this day, like whenever I call them or text any of my old buddies from JUCO, that's what they call me. So that was a funny one that I liked it actually. I really liked that nickname.
Jake Marshall's defensive play monumental. With Sarge behind the plate, Yardbirds hurlers can throw off-speed pitches with a runner on base without fear of the ball winding up at the backstop. At the plate, the switch-hitting Jake Marshall has raised his batting average to a season-high .333, hitting safely in every game of the Whiptails series.
Hey fans, look who's made an appearance! He's got away from the Federal Victory Complex. He's
So I was raised in Northern Virginia. I went to high school in Northern Virginia. I went to a junior college in West Virginia called Potomac State. I was there for 3 years. I wasn't a particularly good baseball player coming out of high school, and I got significantly better in JUCO, so I have to blame those guys for that. And then I walked on to the University of West Virginia. I guess it's my senior year academically, junior year eligibility-wise. Played there for a year and then graduated that summer and emailed SIP over the winter, showed him some videos, some stats, some stuff like that, and now I'm ended up here.
Always a switch hitter?
Since I was 10, I had one of those hit-away things, which is it's a ball on a string, and it goes around a pole, and then it comes back and feeds you like a perfect, dead down the middle fastball. And I used to wear that thing out from the right side, and then I got bored with it, so I started doing it lefty. And so that's probably why I started doing it. Started switch hitting. It was just because of that.
Any best advice you ever remember receiving?
Best advice. I think the best advice that I had ever received was don't take yourself out of the game. In terms of, let somebody else tell you that you can no longer play baseball. I was one of those guys that flew under the radar for a long time. That I wasn't very strong coming out of high school. I was okay in JUCO. I rode the bench at West Virginia, and just I didn't really ever receive that starter role until basically I got here. This is the first time I've been a consistent starter since my senior year of high school, and so I think that just comes from people, my dad especially, telling me that let somebody else tell you that you can no longer play this game. Keep playing it as long as you can, and then once you're told that you can't do it, you can't keep up, then it's time to move on. And so even though I wasn't a starter or I wasn't a big time role guy, nobody ever really told me that I couldn't play anymore. And so I just kind of kept plugging along, waiting for an opportunity, and I was really fortunate that SIP gave me that opportunity.
Well, that's exciting, not only watching you as a switch hitting catcher, which is an oddity, but defensively,
You say that it's a work in progress. I say that it's you're very, very consistent back there.
I've always been able to rely on my defense. I was always very good at blocking, usually a very good framer. I've struggled here a little bit just because different atmosphere, different pitchers. I haven't, I've only been back there for 10 games, and I'm catching different guys, going through equipment changes and stuff like that. Just trying to feel what works and what doesn't work. And so far I haven't been off to the start I wanted to behind the plate in terms of missing a couple balls and being consistent for my pitchers, but I also hold myself to a really high standard on defense especially. And so, as I get more settled in back there and I start seeing these guys more and more often, I expect it to become what I'm used to, which is, flawless receiving wise and throwing guys out at second base as much as I can.
Looking forward to seeing you back behind the plate tonight. Jake Marshall, thanks for these comments.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice job.